And a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us here for another live episode of Conversations with Michael. And we welcome all of you that are watching on our YouTube or Vimeo channel. And of course, the vast majority of you that enjoy watching it on our website. We created this live event for our fellow creators to come together every month to just act as supports by sharing our light and to celebrate the experience of a lifetime as conscious creators of our own experience. And later today, my wife Coca will be showing some of her art at a local gallery here in Oregon as one of the featured artists. You can see some of her work on her Facebook page at Sanctuary Designs, or on her website at sanctuarydesigns.org. We want to thank all of you for your kind words of support. It means a lot to us. Over all these years that I've been serving the teachings of Michael, I get to serve some of the most courageous human beings I have ever met. The opportunity to experience the presence of your soul inside of these physical bodies with your conditioned human identity. Well, this, my friends, as you've all discovered, is not for the faint of heart. But the opportunity to reunite all parts of yourself inside of this human experience, all the way down to our cellular structure, well, that's very appealing. It's not an easy choice. In fact, just about anything else would be easier. So with my wife, Coca, both of us acting as guides, we are deeply honored to earn your trust and your willingness to take that deep dive into your own self. All of us came to the realization during this lifetime that we are no longer willing to accept a life that isn't free from the inside out. We got sick and tired of carrying the weight of our cosmic story, an honored story, but it was time to change. One that has greatly influenced our own human experience. And as that relates to a variety of roles all of us have played, we did our best. But now it's time to also set them free. Maybe not the role itself, but certainly how we feel about it. Now it's time to experience the freedom to be a conscious creator of our own experience without all the pain, all the suffering, and all the discomfort. And once again, if this was an easy thing to do, everyone would be doing it. It's really messy and confusing at times. And speaking for myself, some of the choices I made, well, they almost broke my human heart in relationship to some of the roles that I was playing. But like a lot of you who are watching today's show, when you experience the blending of these different parts of yourself, when you allow yourself to feel your divine nature as a human being, nothing else will come close to that experience. At least it hasn't for me. You can stop relying on your spouse, your children, or your best friend to help fill that empty space you're feeling inside of you. Oh, we have all tried to create a variety of substitute versions of that divine experience. We also tried to hide from such a presence by retreating to our mind. But in the end, once you have tasted who you are at the core of your being, you won't settle for anything less than that. So yes, as creators, we come together each month to celebrate and to act as supports to each other, because it's not easy to own your freedom. A freedom that got lost inside of our cosmic story. Here in the beautiful state of Oregon, where we are once again streaming live from our home studio, we are thoroughly enjoying the beauty of nature beginning to wake up from a very long winter. Such beauty can literally take your breath away. Back when I used to act as a conscious channel for Archangel Michael and Yeshua, Yeshua invited us to imagine how different our current reality would be right now if only he had an iPad during his lifetime. He would have created his own YouTube channel, shared his wisdom for all to hear, and the best part, his messages would have come directly from his voice. But more importantly, he could have also shared with us how his human part, Jesus, was relating to his divine part, Yeshua, both from feeling disconnected at times and what happens when they begin to merge, blend. Like two lost lovers that have finally found themselves once again. Now Yeshua joins us during these live sessions every month to encourage all of us to allow this divine reunion to unfold. Because as so many of you have rediscovered, it goes very deep. So much of who we thought we were no longer fits inside the new story we've created for ourselves. After all these years and all these lifetimes, I am honored to call Yeshua my friend, and many others like him, because there are times when we truly do begin to question what is real. I know that is true for many of you. Even more so when you rely on the story of the collective consciousness of humanity as a reference point for what is real. It can be really painful to watch all those unresolved internal battles begin to project themselves out into this global stage. So once again, I want to thank you, all of you, for having the courage to acknowledge the battle going on inside of you between what appears to be opposites of yourself, the yin and the yang, the being and the doing, the human and the angel. But at its core, we find our relationship to this thing called home acting as a driving force for how we feel about ourselves. And when this beautiful planet offers itself as a temporary home for all beings, I get it. It breaks our heart to see it being disrespected in so many ways. For those of you that have rediscovered your original home inside of you, it's not so easy to consciously integrate all those parts of ourself that experience feeling separated from home, separated from the presence of the original self. So once again, I can't say this enough. It is an honor for me to share this experience with all of you. I don't really care where you're at with all of that. The fact that you're still here, that to me speaks volumes about your character. We have already gone where very few have been willing to go. So, where do we go from here? It's a good question. Where do we go from here with the presence of our soul now present? What role does your soul want to play on this planet? Inside of this evolving, ever-changing, quasi-physical body? If this is your last lifetime on Earth, how would you like to experience being human one last time? And this feels like it would be a very good place for me to invite Michael to step forward. So let's take our deep breath together. As I once again allow what is also available to all of you. My oversoul, or what Michael calls the eternal self, to share his perspective of this world and our life on it. Indeed, thank you, Robert, the human self, and the one that incarnated on this planet, Kethra, the soul. It is I, Michael, in service to who I know you to also be. Here on this planet, it's easy, is it not, to lose sight of your natural state. So the human body is changing to allow all parts of your own consciousness to participate in being human too. It is your soul, which is a part of your oversoul, that was set free long ago to experience being itself inside of a human body. So the question on the table, what now? In a way, it suggests you feel complete with the life you're now living. Or is there still some unfinished business? And if it's all about your joy, there is no end to any number of experiences that are just waiting for you. What would a free being choose for themselves? No matter what your current circumstances are. Well, for one, you have allowed a sense of well-being to surface, to emerge. Inside such an experience, there is literally nothing you need to accomplish. There's nothing more for you to achieve. Just the joy of being you. All of you that are familiar with our work already know most of the details as to why you're here. And if you don't, feel free to explore the Ancient Wings website. In a way, for many of you, your service to your own awakening is indeed complete. But now that you're fully awakened, now that your human self is willing to accept that it was your soul, not it, the non-physical version of you that was the one that incarnated on this planet. It took a while, but now your human identity is willing to acknowledge that your soul is indeed real. Oh, it's still adjusting to your soul's perception of reality, but now it's willing to serve it for the first time without all that drama. Now what? Perhaps for the first time in a very long time, your soul has literally placed both of its etheric feet on this sacred ground called earth. And indeed, it is sacred, is it not? So many look to the stars, hoping to discover the beauty and wonder of life somewhere out there, while missing out on what is right in front of you. We challenge any being to find a more beautiful, more diverse planet in all creation than what you have right here. Earth, my friends, is indeed the crowning jewel. Many of you already know this. You already know why Earth was created, the incredible role it plays for all of creation in service to your natural, free-flowing energies. So your heart breaks when the laws of nature are violated over and over again, because you know in your heart, this is very sacred ground you walk on. But you also know, as above, so below. What you find on this planet would not be here if it didn't exist in other realms. And that is why it is such a challenge to embrace the human experience with all your heart. It can be very painful to be reminded of our conflicted cosmic story being played out once again for all to see, but here on Earth in slow motion. And because of that, you began to develop a love-hate relationship with this planet. All the power games that have played such an important role in the history of this planet didn't originate on Earth. Many of your unresolved issues between countries have direct links to the history of your non-physical spiritual families. The story that was created between the original mother and father, it too has played a part inside of your human story. It helped you to define your human gender, the roles that both the male and female have embraced, as a reflection of your cosmic story. The life that all of you left behind eons ago to be of service to so many different lines of separation that exist in the stars. After all this time, what happened? They started to shift, which also shifted the as above, so below theme, in part because of your willingness to leave behind what is known to you. And what is known to you is a very conflicted cosmic story. Perhaps you don't know this consciously, but it has greatly influenced the choices all of you have made. So lifetime after lifetime, you engaged with others that like you have their own story. And then to finally allow that part of you that was also missing in the stars, to finally reveal itself from deep within yourself. All of this is unfolding as we speak, because a few of you were willing to value yourself more than whatever role you were playing inside of whatever story you helped to create, both as a human and as an angel. You had to be willing to change a universal perception that would separate your being from the source of life, separate creation from your original home, separate the male from the female energy, separate your light from its own shadow, separate the human from the angel. And so you did. Indeed. But it took a while to accept that presence inside of you, one that is capable of perceiving all parts of itself as being a part of it too. Let's say that again, because it's really important that you feel this. One that is capable of perceiving all parts of itself as being a part of it too. It took a while to embrace your divine nature as being you too. It took even longer to fully ground such a presence into your life as a human being. Oh, all of you have tried really hard to become enlightened until you stop trying long enough to realize that a part of you already is. It was a humbling discovery, was it not? And what did it cost you? What was the price you had to pay? It cost you your human pride. And for some, that was too high of a price to pay. But the fact that your soul was now willing to place both feet on this sacred ground and to also coexist with this human identity until the day when the human finally said, what? It said, okay, let's do this together. No more games. No more pity parties. No more drama. And now you are doing it together, which in turn opened a new window into another reality, inviting the source of this divine presence to also be present on this planet with you, which represents what? Indeed, the second coming of Christ consciousness. And that, my friends, that changes everything, including how you would like to experience being human. Perhaps for the first time, you now have the freedom to experience your divinity with grace, with compassion, and with joy. And for those of you that are choosing to stay a little longer, this will represent a new model for being a fully awakened, fully conscious, enlightened human being. And you know how important it is at this time to share such a joy for now simply being you, both the human and the divine, free of all guilt and shame, free of all the internal battles. Take a deep breath there. The radiance from that choice will and is having a dramatic impact on this human story. We're not asking any of you to accept that at face value, because you know, and we know you won't. So we invite you to perceive Earth from our vantage point, while being human too. To see for yourself how your light is changing everything as that relates to all those power games, both on and off of this planet. Games that help to support a deep division within yourself. That too is changing. But is that good news for all the power players? So back to that question. Now what? Well, the divisions in and of themselves, they didn't just vanish in the blink of an eye. That's where we find most of you that have allowed your divine presence to be present. You're feeling how deep these divisions exist inside your human biology. And when you truly allow this divine presence to share its presence with all parts of your experience, they too become like it. Divine, complete. The experience is simply incredible. It offers a very elevated state of being. It will change your life forever. But it doesn't happen in a blink of an eye. But for those of you that aren't quite sure about all of this, who can feel in your heart as we speak a type of yearning for such an experience, but your mind has one or two doubts about the role that it will play in such a relationship, well, the invitation remains open. But is today, my friends, a good time to allow that presence to finally come forward? Is this moment the moment you've been searching for your whole life? Is this your time to stop pretending you're not divine too? If it is, we and all of your fellow creators will gladly act as a witness while sharing our own radiance. Let's spend a few minutes simply breathing with such an opportunity while we play a video in the background. And another deep breath. Very good, very good. Now, how do you feel? Did your human part allow this divine presence to gently touch your heart? Good. Take the pressure off of yourself. It's not a do or die type of opportunity, but if you want this divine presence to be real, we offer a very simple suggestion that anybody can do. Just stop. That's right. Stop. Stop whatever you think is more important. Stop doing whatever you're doing if this presence isn't a part of that too. Stop thinking about it and just allow it to be in your life. The part that is thinking will, of course, ask, be who? Be what? Be you, my friends. Be you as that divine part that you have always been. Oh, you can speculate about this for your entire life, but until you feel a heartfelt passion to make this experience the most important, the moment you get out of bed each morning, if that isn't there, there's no energy to support it. Let's try it again. Just stop. Take a deep breath and let yourself experience the presence of the original self begin to emerge from deep inside of you. You have tried everything else. And if any of those things really worked, they'd be working right now. We understand the choice to stop processing is a really bold choice. And at times, stop being the human first and simply allow the part of you that was the one that incarnated to be you too. And to have the freedom to express itself during this lifetime. The life you are living today. If you're watching this show, we are here to congratulate you. You finally figured out what was missing inside of this human soul experience. You forgot to stop being human first. It's your human part that allows your soul to experience itself as a human being. Very good. Very good. Now, none of you have done anything wrong. You simply got seduced by the collective consciousness of this human family. So let's shift directions here. Another deep breath. Now we're talking to those that are at the front line of this incredible shift on this planet. Most of you are now at the beginning stages of an embodied human soul experience, which is really different from the beginning stages of your own awakening. You didn't cross the finish line, nor did you have to climb the top of a mountain, but you are now aware that you have unlimited access to that part of you that can help to reunite all parts of you, all the way down to the basic cellular structure of these human bodies. You have access to the same energy that set the original self free. to now be itself as individuated facets of itself. This part of you can also reunite any part of itself that perceived themselves as being disconnected from the original self, all the way down to a single atom, representing the smallest form inside of a physical structure, in order to experience the positive and negative elements of matter. Now, you don't need to fully understand quantum physics, but if your joy is to serve the next wave of awakened human beings, quantum physics, my friends, represents the next wave of spirituality in how consciousness impacts matter in a way that goes beyond logic and reason. For now, it's important for all of you to bring the wholeness of all of yourselves back together. How do you do this? Bring that part of you that already is complete in and of itself to the front of your life. This could happen much faster in the non-physical realms. But here you have a physical biology that is primarily carbon-based, and a human identity that knows itself as a byproduct of the human experience, meaning your physical environment has helped to shape your sense of self as a human being. So the divine part of your soul is aware of all these factors, despite all the conditions of this physical reality. Your soul finds great joy, or you wouldn't be here, in going where no one else has gone before. There are very few human beings that would ever consider such an experience, let alone find joy in it. So we are speaking to a very rare group of souls, because it's like climbing the tallest mountain without any gear to support you. Who would do such a thing? Well, you are. In this case, the support has always been there. You are living proof that it exists. The ones that we are now talking to have gone beyond all of the spiritual distractions. For much of your life, it was like attending one of those New Age healing conventions. Oh, you visited all the booths filled with crystal healings, horoscopes, astral projection, past life regressions, inner child therapy. You discovered, however, that if you really want to reconnect with your inner child, it's that part of you that is the most comfortable just being. This is the part of you that is already magical. So you pass through the maze of distractions, only to find what? Well, you found you, of course. All this time, there you were, inside of you. For most of you, this is the first time as a human being that you feel safe just being you. It's enough. Your human self has befriended your soul, has it not? And it's such a beautiful experience. And much to your surprise, what did you also discover? Indeed, Your soul really likes your human self, just as it is, just as you are. Imagine that. Skipping all those therapy and counseling sessions. Imagine that. You can finally let go of trying to create an improved version of your human self. So the embodied human soul experience doesn't instantly become complete. It represents an evolving, growing, and expanding new relationship. Over time, the human part begins to melt into the heart of your own soul, because the love from your soul is so pure. It's irresistible. So all of you that we have the honor of serving represent a new beginning on this planet. Certainly as it applies to your own life first, but also a new beginning for the entire human species. Talk about pioneers of consciousness. It's amazing what you have created on this planet. Not all will see it as being amazing, nor will they celebrate what you now embody. Because for the most part, it doesn't fit inside the old human story, one that is based on struggle, power, and greed. You have embodied a new foundation for the family of humanity, one that naturally supports diversity, cooperation, and mutual respect. Not because that is being dictated from above by any other being, but because you have allowed that state of consciousness to exist inside of you. So our joy is to continue to act as a guide, but more and more, if you allow it, just as your friends, more and more, your human part will grow comfortable with your own inner guidance. That divine part of you already knows all that we know. There is no greater or lesser divine part in all of creation. And as we bring this session to a close, we want to take this moment to once again thank you. Truly, thank you. Speaking on behalf of so many human beings who left this planet during this lifetime, and all those beings like myself that have never been this close to this physical reality as we are now with all of you. From the bottom of our heart, thank you. Until we meet again, take care of yourself, my friends.